Hello and welcome to this week's Technique of the Week from Red Door Studios. If you want to have a go at home, all you will need is some sand or something grainy and a paintbrush. You can also use your fingers, so just experiment here and see which tool suits you best. The bright sparks amongst you will notice we're not actually using sand in this animation. I'm using glitter because it suits our subject matter. I am here animating a droplet of water, and I'd definitely recommend, if you're having a go at home, experiment with some bits and pieces you'll have around the house. Not everybody has sand and glitter, but you'll probably have some sugar or salt, which is a great way of starting with sand animation. Or you can experiment with different textures, maybe flour if you want something particularly fine, or even lentils or perhaps beads that you might have lying around the house. Now, all of these different sized granules will produce different results. And the key word for this week is experiment. It's the same with your tools. You'll notice here I started off using quite a longed, bristled, stiff brush, but I've moved to using softer bristles, and that's just because with these particular granules with glitter of this size, it seems to work a little bit better. But again, try lots of different things, see what works best for you. I'm also using my fingers every now and then just to get a really nice smooth result. It's very useful working on glass. Having a light box is very, very handy, and obviously it's not practical in this particular situation to be using a window like it is with hand-drawn animation. So if you do have a pane of glass or perhaps even a bit of perspex lying around, that would be very, very useful. You can then just set up a simple light underneath it and diffuse that light to make sure it's not too much of a harsh spot, and that will be a great surface for you to try this technique out on. Some things that you should be watching out for when you're having a look at this clip here is the squash and stretch. Now, we've talked about squash and stretch in previous techniques of the week, but obviously water is a great example of where it's very, very useful to use that technique. And we've also got some action and reaction. So here we've got the splash, and the splash is the reaction after the action of the droplet hitting the water and falling into the water. So action and reaction is really important in animation. As I said, water is absolutely wonderful to animate with. It's a real joy. You can almost approach it in quite an abstract way and be very, very stylised with how you represent water. That's what we're doing here. We're simplifying how water reacts when there's a droplet hitting a plane of water. We're actually stylising this and simplifying the action, which works well considering the medium that we're using and also the time frame. So play around with water and how you can mimic the movement, but also have that sort of artistic interpretation. And here at the end we've got a loop of our sand animation using glitter. I hope you've enjoyed this technique of the week. Have a go yourself and let us know how you get on. And if you need any more tips, do get in touch. Don't forget, we do run an animation school on Tuesdays, and we're also starting up on Saturdays, so hope to see you very soon. Bye!